Hi, I'm Doug Padgett with Vote Common Good. At Vote Common Good, we encourage people of faith to bring about a change on Election Day by making the common good their voting criteria, and by deepening into faith, hope, and love to stop the re-election of Donald Trump. We've been talking with faith voters all across the country who did vote for Donald Trump in 2016, but won't be voting for him in 2020. Here are a few of their stories. You can hear their entire interviews and share your story at votecommongood.com.
I voted for Trump in 2016, and I didn't want to do it. I was not, during the whole primary season, I was not a fan. But I also had problems with some things with Hillary as a candidate that were problematic for me too, and so I really felt like I was in a dilemma. Who do I choose?
I thought once he gets in office, he'll chill out probably and start acting more presidential.
I was worried that Hillary might take us to more anti-business stuff, and so I just said, let's give this business guy a shot. And I also thought that he would raise himself into the level of the office, that he'd kind of put down the childish ways. And obviously I was just terribly wrong on that.
It was kind of a false sale, if you will. It turned out what we got was a lot different than what he was promoting. And it became clear, for example, drain the swamp. He's not draining the swamp, he opened the gates for the swamp monsters to come in.
As I have woken up to white privilege, my own white privilege, anti-racism, the more work I do around anti-racism, the more I deeply regret and am saddened by the choice I made 4 years ago, and I would never make that choice again.
I think the big one for me was the caging and the separation of the children from the parents for immigrants. Going through the Bible and it was like I kept hitting all these different verses, wow. Feed the hungry and welcome the stranger. And
I'm a big Proverbs guy. I read Proverbs every day, and as I'm reading Proverbs and I'm matching up the things that are coming out of Donald Trump's mouth, the word God says, it just blew me away. And I actually got on my knees and I repented to God for my vote for Donald Trump.
3 years of, geez, why did I vote for him?
Yeah.
What did we do as a country? What's happening at the border with the concentration camps? Pro-life doesn't really mean what pro-life should mean in, I guess, in a Republican's eyes.
Having lived overseas, I cannot vote for somebody who's very xenophobic. Somebody that talks about countries that I lived in with such a negative light, talks about refugees in such a way when my own faith says you don't do those kind of things.
I grew up in church, but it wasn't until maybe the last couple of years that I really came into my own ideas and thoughts on religion. And the deeper you delve into that, the clearer it becomes that Donald Trump is not a representation of anything Jesus related. You cannot correlate the two. It just doesn't happen.